Senator Peters, Senator Murkowski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And good to see you, Madam Secretary. Going to stick with seafood here. And I want to start with what I know you have been read into, but we are really getting concerned. As you know, fisheries disasters in and around Alaska, but in other parts of the country, and these disaster monies being held up. And right now, we're looking at literally, I mean, you can't describe it as anything other than a massive backlog, and it relates to this new business applications solutions, getting the payments out to NOAA employees, the vendors, the partners. It has been a technical issue that you're starting a new system, but you started it with a program where you have people that are so vulnerable and have waited so long. I mean, in Alaska, and I don't know whether it's in other states, probably in the chairman's, but we're looking at fisheries disasters that were declared back in 2019, and these people still have yet to receive their disaster funding. It's really outrageous. So can you share with the committee where you are, what you're doing to address these failures, when we can expect this system to be operational? I don't know if we can call it fully functional, but at least operational. We got to help these folks.
Yeah. So first of all, I agree with you, and I know how serious it is. I really do. I've spoken to you, I've spoken to other members, I've spoken to fishermen myself in Alaska, and I want you to know I don't take it lightly. The fishery disaster assistance has candidly never been a fast process.
It's been awful.
Yeah, for like ever, it's never been a fast process. The new law that you have passed is good, effective, and pushing us to streamline. But as you know, it's very data intensive. We have to get the catch limits, the data from the past, compare it to today. It's an arduous process and it takes time. The BAS implementation only made it worse. Here's what I can tell you. We expect some decisions in the next month or so. BAS...
Decisions with regards to getting the funding out
yes.
the door then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, for providing funding. BAS, like, if this may be cold comfort for you, but I personally have a meeting on a weekly basis with the BAS team to get this thing back on track. IT systems, I've been doing this for 15 years, never seem to go the way they should in government. It's not an excuse, but it's complicated. So the good news is the system is now working. The actual software is working. We are processing vouchers and grants at the same rate that we were pre-BAS. The challenge now is that we had a 20-year-old system that individuals knew how to work with. Now they have to learn a whole new system, so we're still slow. But long story short, we are through the worst of it, not totally out of the BAS woods. I'll follow up with you on Alaska specifically, but I think you're going to see some improvements soon.
Well, we need to see that because we're going into yet another season.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, prepare yourself for another round of disasters. But our fishermen are giving up on the whole disaster declaration process because they just can't see the help coming in any time.
We will get better.
Thank you. Another question, and this relates to your budget, that is very concerning. What we've been saying to people who are very stressed about what we're seeing in the oceans and what's happening, particularly with salmon, but in other species as well, crab. We're saying, we got to get more data, we got to get more science, we got to count on NOAA, we need to make sure their budget is there. And then we learn that the 2024 Alaska Longline Survey is going to be suspended this year. We understand it's high cost. Of course it's high cost. But historically, the Alaska Fishery Science Center has been able to conduct the survey through a cost recovery effort. We know that we've got increased operating expenses. We get all that. But we established the Fisheries Survey Contingency Fund in FY24 to provide funding for instances like this and to help prevent the unexpected cancellation. So I'm just going to again reinforce the importance of these marine surveys. We want to make sure that our fisheries are going to be sustainable even in challenging times. But we've got to know as much as we possibly can. We have to have these marine surveys. So is there any assurance that you can give me in this category?
Yes, I mean, in the FY25 budget, we've prioritized the surveys. The long line survey is paid for actually by by industry.
Right.
And, you know, costs are going up,
Right.
so it's a challenge for industry. I can tell you, we're very focused on it. It's always a tough decision to postpone or cancel a survey. We don't like to do that. We are being creative as we can to make sure that we get the best science, and we strive to meet our core responsibilities. I share the priority and the concern.
Well, and you know, we talked about this during COVID when we lost years of surveys, a couple years of surveys, which was horribly detrimental. So I'm just going to reinforce, I'll be the broken record on it. I do have more questions that I want to submit for the record, but thank you, Madam Secretary.
Thank you,
By the way,
Senator.
next week, I'm talking to a group of Alaskan commercial fishermen just to hear and learn and listen. I'm not saying we're doing everything perfectly, but I definitely want you to know how seriously we take it.